This conference will now be recorded.
All right, so today is Monday, December 16th, and as always, everything that we're going to be talking about today is for educational purposes only, and nothing is intended as any type of investment advice. All right, so we can see AMRN pretty big jump in the aftermarket on Friday, but we can see that from that 27 level, just was not able to push into it and even in touch. And we've been pretty much seeing selling ever since. So looking over here, we can see coming into this morning, 25, big show of hand right there at 850 coming into that 25 level. But then immediately after, as you can see the ask prints that came in. And what we have to assume is that these things, that they're going to be riders. So we have those bid prints that came in. That's really showing us the selling. Keep in mind, 25 big psychological level. So it's not typically going to play very nice here, but we need a big pull up from that 25 level. We have our ask prints that came in for riders afterwards. So expecting this to come up, we have our trigger that's sitting right here at that 25.50 level. So it's going to act as a pretty big resistance point. We probably should see, just based off the range though, we should see this thing be able to pull up higher than that 50-cent range. And then obviously going to be looking for a trigger back towards the 25 level. Now, just keep in mind, once again, 25 big psychological number. It's going to play a bunch of games over there. And then keep in mind as well, right here, even from those prints at 25, we do have a pretty big support sitting at that 24.18, what we'll call 24.25. So overall, it's got beautiful prints coming into it. It's pretty clean story. Now we can see it 25.35, 25.26, 25.20. There's definitely a lot of selling that's coming into this to bring this thing back down. So keep that in mind, as well as the fact, if we look at this huge move that it did actually make in that aftermarket, you can see the volume really wasn't that crazy. So overall, once again, when things kind of push up that big on lower volume, we end up seeing them come back down, and that selling is definitely showing it to us. Next thing looking at is AXSM. So we can see another one, nice, beautiful push. We're going to expect a gigantic range. Now, closed at 46.79 on Friday, and this thing is just, on a absolute tear coming up to that 87.50 level. So we can see that we still actually are getting some decent new buying. I mean, there's not any crazy prints that we've seen so far. I mean, 84. You can see we have a couple there. And keep in mind, when the stock has this big of a range, the orders are going to be thin. So we know that, 4 is the number of prints that we actually look for, but 2 prints in a stock like this is going to have a huge effect. So we know we do have that buying, but it was very, very early, and it really did push up about $4 from there. So overall, we just don't have a great show of hand yet. We need something new to come in here to tell us what it's going to do, but we know there's going to be a huge move that's coming into this today. So just looking for that show of hand. Once we get in it, we're going to be one of the number one things that I'm looking at. Then we have ASRT. So it's not the prettiest. It's more of a sideless stock. Just because of the fact, once again, just jumping up on really not much volume at all. But we do have a little bit of buying that came in underneath that 150 level. So it definitely does have some new buying within there. We just need to see more. I mean, it's trading a little bit too sporadic for such a cheap stock, but overall definitely has the opportunity there. And then WVE. WVE, not my favorite, but it's on our side list, because we can see right here as we're coming in earlier this morning, we had basically, selling at that 16 level that we started to pull up from. You can see these riders that came in afterwards at that 16. I mean, it's jumped up $2. So it's got a huge range, but it's also got a gigantic spread, 75-cent spread right now. So basically what that means is that if you were to buy right this second and sell immediately after, you would lose 75 cents on it. So it's a little bit all over the place, but it's got a little bit of potential, especially taking a hit 37.60 all the way down. I mean, that's a huge fall. So coming into the morning, to see this thing jump up to 25 is not a big deal at all, based off of the amount that it moved off of there. So it's called bottom fishing. We definitely have those riders that came in on that 16 level to show us that, it certainly has that possibility of coming back in. And, 8:30, it's a little bit early. So, once again, 16 bid showing us that there's new selling coming into it. And then those asks showing us on that, it needs to pull up first before we would end up coming back down. And then obviously after that move up from those 16 bid and the 16 ask prints, we're going to be expecting a trigger back down. First to the table was that selling at the 16. And other than that, that's pretty much what I got going on out there. Anything else out there that I missed? Did I talk about CI? I did not. So I was looking at CI before. And looks way better. Okay. Absolutely. CEI definitely going on our list. See, the reason before, when I was looking at it before 9 o'clock, it was just like, there's nothing there. But definitely with this new buying coming in at the 225, beautiful move up and actually getting a little, some actual volume up above there. We've seen this thing move before, so we know it can move. And, once again, getting that new buying coming in definitely on our list. And ONCE. So beautiful ask Prince, Keith, but my biggest concern here is it actually going to trade? If you look at, just a normal day of how it usually is, it does not usually have enough volume for us to even be looking at it. So beautiful show of hand. I'll definitely put that on our side list. Beautiful show of hand. It's just, unfortunately, it does not usually trade whatsoever. So we're going to need to it needs, to wait a little bit towards the open to see if it's actually going to continue. So I didn't talk about PCG. So the reason behind, so I just, I haven't really seen anything in here, okay, to be completely honest with you. If you go all the way back from 819, it's just a big mix. Now, it definitely has all the criteria for us to put it on top of our list. There was just some better stuff out there that I would rather be looking at rather than PCG, just because it just, like I said, I mean, based off, it's a beautiful move, so far during the pre-market. I just haven't seen anything that really jumps out. I mean, the 860 prints right there, but other than that, it's kind of a little bit but definitely, I mean, it fits everything. So absolutely. And PCG, I feel, it's just become one of those stocks that we almost are looking at every day now, because this thing has just been getting absolutely phenomenal volume coming in there. But yeah, definitely just need to see something. And I, this morning, haven't seen anything from there. All right, guys, so let's get ready for our morning patience. We have a big list today, so there's a lot of stuff on our list, and when you have a lot of stuff on your list, you tend to want to have to jump around. Make sure you focus on not allowing that to happen. Okay, let's find our show of hand. Let's find what our game plan on the stock that we want to trade going into the morning, make a plan, and work our plan from there. All right, guys, so I will talk to everyone in the chat, and happy trading.